So I'm going to go through and show you a very quick way to start on your Pokemon cards. Just to how to get the Pokemon out of there, mask it out, and then some of the basic tools that we've been using and how they look on Photoshop. So from here, what I'm going to do is go to File, Open, and I simply took one of the Pokemon cards that I downloaded through, Schoology, and simply added it to my photo library on my iPad. Now, from here, what I'm going to do is simply take all the tools that we have been using. They look a little bit different on here because it's the iPad, and then work kind of like the same way as I would normally to get rid of things and add other things back in. So just like we always do on regular Photoshop, we're going to take our original layer, duplicate it. I'm going to hide the original, and not delete it, and lock it. And I'm going to rename this just so that I have that saved up as original. Now I have my layer 0 copy, which is great. And from here, what I'm going to be doing is using all of the tools that I have been using to kind of work and get rid of basically this picture in the very middle of my screen. Now you're going to see with my lasso tool, I have the ability to make a couple different selections. We have our regular marquee tool, which allows us to draw a selection out. We have our quick select tool, which works kind of like the quick select that we have used already in the past, which is actually really good for this one. It makes it very, very quick and easy to add to my selection and grab most of the item. You just got to be careful to grab all of the Pokemon on the inside here, which it looks like I did, which is great. Actually, I'm subtracting right now. That's why nothing's showing up. I'm going to go through, add everything else. Grab the top parts. The one thing I don't like about this, and maybe it's just my iPad, but I can't see like what I'm selecting. That might be a little different for you guys, but just keep that in mind while you're working. I think my thing just froze up on me here. Oh yeah, it did. There we go. So just be careful of that. I'm actually not sure what this thing is. I'll be honest. Oh, okay. So it kind of works like the rectangle marquee tool and the quick select all in one. It seems to have just kind of done its own selection of what it thinks I'm trying to select, so that's kind of cool. But what I'm going to do is just a regular rectangle marquee tool, and I'm simply going to go in and make a rectangle around my object. Now, if I hit mask right now, it's only going to select the middle part, which is not what I want. So there is no top menu where it goes to select inverse. Instead, you're going to see a bottom menu down here, which gives you some, options. All I'm going to do is hit invert, and now you can see it selects everything else and mask Ponyta out of there. Now, from here, what I'm going to do is make a brand new layer. Where is that? Oh, new layer on the right-hand side here. And I'm going to go to my images on the left and just simply add a background. And I selected this fire background earlier, simply went to Google, downloaded it to my folder. And just like regular Photoshop, we could take our layer, move it up, and drop it down. So now I have my background. Now, this is just the basics of how to get it set up. From here, what I could do is I'm simply going to duplicate my layer. And now I could add my clone stamps and my bandage like content aware tools onto this particular part of my project. Now, what I want to do is get rid of the smash kick and flame tail. So you could use your stamp tool, and the stamp tool works kind of like how it did in regular Photoshop, except you have to make your selection with the crosshairs ahead of time. So there is no keyboard shortcut, not that I'm aware of at least. And this allows you to make your selection. So I want to select down here, and then you could stamp it elsewhere. That's one way to do it. And the other way is to simply take the Band-Aid and use the Band-Aid to chop away at the image. Now, the Band-Aid tool isn't perfect. You can see it's trying its best to grab the line underneath it to match, with the actual tool itself. So you might need to take a couple tries at this or use the clone stamp to get rid of those areas. As you can see, I was able to successfully get rid of the text without too much issue. Now, outside of that, what you can do is go back and add text in. Now, this is destructive editing, so you're going to find that I did make a layer copy. If I hide that, all my stuff comes back, so that's good. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to use that same tool to get rid of some of the cracks on the left over here. And the right. There we go. And now you could use your text tool to add in other areas. So on the bottom left, you have the ability to add text. Simply going to drag a box. And what I can do is type fire. Whoops. Hang on. Fire kick. Now, this looks a little goofy right now. I can simply resize it. And you're going to need to find the right font styles for the part. So you can see here I've got a bunch of different fonts. I'm going to go through and kind of try to find one that works. You're not going to get it perfect like how we could simply go in and actually just edit and add in our own fonts through defont.com. I don't know of any way to do that flawlessly through the iPad as of right now. But you're going to just try to find something that kind of matches what's on your screen already. So you can see I got Fire Kick. You can name this whatever you want. You can move this around. Just place it in somewhere where it should fit. And then you could also go ahead and edit out the power. So for example, if I want this to be like 100. Or 1,000, why not? Actually, I'm going to make this 12. Actually, it's probably larger than that. Let's try 15. That looks okay. Could be bold. No, it's not bold. You're going to have to play around with it and find the right fonts. I do apologize. I did not go through and try to upload fonts to this, so I have no idea if that works. But this is just an example of how you could go ahead and edit all that stuff in there. Now, outside of that, you can add stuff in. And again, everything is located in the layers menu here. So if you don't see your big layers menu like I have it on the right side of my screen here, you can simply click on the layers options on the far right side of your screen. You're going to want it to look like this. And from there, you have the ability to edit, mask, hide things, add new layers, edit them, duplicate layers, all that good stuff. And then your left-hand side is pretty much all the tools that you'll need to work through this project. Now, again, make sure that you make copies of your layers. That way, if you do make any mistakes, you have the ability to kind of go back and fix them up. Just keep in mind that all of these same concepts from before, so when you make a layer mask, you have the ability to use black and white to take things out or bring things back in. So for example, if I wanted to hide more things, I could use black, on my layer mask to hide parts. Obviously this isn't helpful for my needs, but just know that white and black will take things and hide them or bring them back just like a normal layer mask would do. All right, so from here, we're at a point where we could start adding a picture of yourself. And my suggestion is to figure out a pose. So if you're shooting fireballs, I don't know, maybe put your hands forward. And I would suggest putting yourself against a backdrop that's nice and clear. So, like a white background, maybe something that has like a single color in the backdrop. Just find a wall in your house that has pretty much nothing on it. That way you can make a quick selection of yourself or the backdrop, invert it, and pull that into your file. It'll be a lot easier and a lot faster than trying to slowly chip away with these selection tools to try and get a good selection of yourself. And again, you don't have to do yourself if you want to use like your pet, a family member, things like that. You can do that, but it has to be a picture that you take with your iPad. So just do keep that in mind. If you have any questions, please let me know. But